Se nenhum dos 5 que a gente foi atrás quis ficar no lugar da Egg, como é que fica então?
Okay, we just need to talk to Aggie. She'll know what to do.
No, Sparky. I've been thinking about it, and I think Samfire's right. I think it's maybe time to let the town go.
No, Morris. It's not.
No, it's all right, Sparky girl. It's over. This isn't my town anymore. The only ones around here who remember me are ghosts.
That's not true.
No, it is. But that's all right. Truly it is. Everything for a season and all that. And I miss the people I knew. The people who've moved on. I want to see them again. I think I will take Pete No-Chop on his offer and head into the west with him. Shelmerston doesn't need Morris Lupton any longer.
Morris Lupton, you will not give up. You have been granted a precious responsibility and you will honor it.
Sparky?
I'm sorry about that. Remember when I told you I was mostly Sparky? I am, but mostly.
Then what else are you?
I am the rock that you stand on. The wood you people built this town from. The magma bubbling beneath your feet. I am Shelmerston. And right now I want to erupt. But I have also made connections to the things that live here. Connections I want to keep alive. I need you, Morris.
Right. Well,
And I'm still your Sparky. And I need you, Morris. We all do.
Oh, Sparky.
I know you feel forgotten. I know you want to move on. I do too, but I can't until I wrap up this last bit of unfinished business. Will you try one last avenue with me? If we still can't find a solution, then I'll be done. It'll all be done, and we can go into the West together. Please.
All right, Sparky. One last try. But who else is there to talk to?
Aggie.
Aggie? But where is she? Oh, she's everywhere, isn't she?
She is, but I can sniff her out. I just need some mementos.
But where would we find mementos from back then? Oh, of course.
Back to your museum, Morris.
Museu. Museu do Morris. Tá, então o último fantasma é a própria Agnes. Ag. Meu Deus, o cara sabe falar o nome. Museu de Shelmerston.
Ah, well, it's reopened. Well, I suppose that's good. You need to keep up the footfall. Everything has to move on.
Well, yes, but, you know, it is still your museum, Morris. It wouldn't be here without you.
It was never my museum, Sparky. It was Shelmerston's. It's changing, but, you know, I think it should. So, what happens now? How do we find 4,000-year-old memories?
Ah, come with me, Morris. There's one more thing I ought to show you.
Oh, okay, Sparky.
Ok, então o último desafio agora é encontrar coisas sobre a Ag, né? Museu da recepção do museu, não tem nada. Aqui aparentemente também não tem nada. Caramba, pior que não vai ter pessoa, né? Falando tipo, a Ag, sei lá o que, fazia isso, aquilo. Opa!
Well, don't suppose I'll ever look at Aggie's room the same way again, will I?
Morris, take a look at those skulls, please.
The skulls? Well, they have memories inside them? Oh, that's rather morbid, Sparky.
Not quite. Look, I didn't explain this before because I felt things were confusing enough, but that slicing is a bit more powerful than I've led you to believe.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, we aren't limited to memories of people who are alive. People are bounded by time, but memories aren't. Check it out.
Tá, tem aqui então o crânio humano da Era do Bronze. Nossa senhora!
Oh, I didn't think dead stomachs could get queasy, but here we are. Where are we, Sparky?
When are we, Morris? This is Shelmerston in Aggie's time. You should be able to find some memories of her here.
You are some dog, Sparky.
Tá, a gente vai ter que encontrar por aqui então alguma coisa. Temos alguma coisa. Nossa, então cada crânio... Ih, caramba, vai ser longo. Onap, anciã da aldeia.
It was the worst night in the world when Aggie was born. It began in the old village, the one swept away by the rivers of fire. The ground shook and the earth split open and spat sparks. The sun hid and the huts burst into flame as we fled. I thought we would all die, everyone washed in the burning orange death, and Aggie's mother howling with the pain of the child coming. We made it as far as the cliff top by the sea. The mountain was still roaring and roaring. The rock ran in rivers toward the sea. The air smelled of death and poison. But Aggie was perfect. Small and angry, her tiny fists pummeling the air. I used my knife to cut the cord. We chose a spot for the new village closer to the beach. The burning rivers cooled to pumice and black glass. I made sure everyone knew that a life that began in this way would be special. Not everyone believed me, but Aggie proved me right.
A gente vai ter que encontrar a faca, né?
My goodness.
Imaginei.
Giving birth like that must have been awful. What a terrifying situation.
So, where do you think that knife is? Should we look around here, or...?
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen that knife before. Back at the museum, I reckon.
Okay, Morris, let's go.
Ok, então a gente vai voltar pro museu. Encontrar lá no museu? É isso? Ó, a gente vai ter que fazer de um em um, né? Não vai dar pra olhar, pegar tudo de uma vez. Tá, esse vai ser complicado a gente encontrar. Não, não vai não. A gente achou. O bom é que tá tudo exposto assim, né? Nas vitrines. Então é só você olhando vitrine em vitrine, prestando atenção, né? Se for algum objeto menor. Mas vai estar mais fácil agora.
And to think that people had not long stopped using flint tools when this was made.
There is so much history in this knife.
Ooh.
I'd love to see what else it got up to.
Pronto, vamos pro próximo.
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop up to let you know when we're close to one.
Tá, os Grenkins. Aqui tem Grenkin. Eu não consigo. Eita! 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 Nossa, mas foi muito profundo isso. Literalmente. Tá, vamos lá. Próxima caveira. Tá, e daqui tá ficando bem interessante, mano. A gente poder ver as memórias das pessoas mortas já, né, no caso. E das vivas também, né, mas... Cadê? Cadê a pessoa que tem memórias da águia aqui? É outro peixe humano. Crick, peixe humano e amigo da águia.
Of course we watched her. We had heard of her birth and seen her on the shore. Her feet sometimes in the seawater, her body in the sun. We did not show
viajando no
ourselves at
tempo ainda, melhor
first.
ainda.
As a test, we left the mirror on the black shore, born of the volcano on the same day as her, and waited to see what would happen, to see if it called to her. She picked it up, turned it from side to side. She took it home. The next time I saw her, I introduced myself. We sang together, and I showed her how the mirror worked. How if you emptied your mind and thought of air and light and sea, you would see things in its surface. How things would unfurl in the future. Aggie was better at mirror gazing than any of us sea folk. She saw a girl, her own daughter not yet born, as leader of the dry folk. I told Aggie to keep on gazing into that mirror, that one day the island would need something more than a leader.
Oh, I had a box of rocks that looked like that mirror somewhere. Where did I put it?
Ah, ótimo. Então vamos voltar pro museu. Mano, como assim 60 frames? Tá muito esquisito agora. Estamos jogando a 120 até agora. E meu Deus, agora 60 ficou estranho. Vai ter que encontrar as pedras que parece um espelho. Acho que eu fui pro lado errado, mano. Se eu tivesse ido pra esse lado aqui, já teria encontrado. Ué. Então, deixa eu ver uma coisa. X, escala, sincronização vertical. Não estava ativado? Então a gente ativa. Tá, não tem mais o que mexer. Tá, eu passei reto, mano. Pegada de um camelo. 91, meu Deus. Pedra de Shelmerston, meu Deus. É um sorriso aqui no coisa. É o navio, né? Tá, deixa quieto. Aqui, ó. Não é? Nossa, eu fui seco achando que fosse. E uma caixa. Eita, tem um cara aqui dentro. Que diabos? Ah, é um ovo mesmo. Cera de concha, não. Tem... Você pode entrar na concha, mano. Então, acho que o esquema vai ser olhar de lugar em lugar mesmo. É isso? Ó, é esse aqui, não é não? Espelho de obsidiana. Eu tô com o mouse na tela, caramba. Tem um gato aqui, coitado. Ah, tá, pera, é um mod só, não é? Esses? Jode? Não. Esse aqui? Jode? Não. Tá, não faria. Não teria sentido, né? De estar junto com a faca. Mano, mas não faz sentido. É esse aqui, ó. Espelho de obsidiana, feito de lava solidificada. Tem mais de 2000 anos e é o espelho. E é o maior espelho de obsidiana que existe. Espelho de obsidiana. Nanana. Os instrumentos. Eita, essa risada. Interrogação. Nossa, dá pra formar uma interrogação. Assim. Nossa, 1 de 10. Tá, eu encontro esse negócio aqui, mas não encontro o objetivo. Muito bom. Tava dentro de uma caixa mesmo. Caraca, velho. Tá bom na dedução, hein, coruja?
Whoa. This thing is really powerful, Morris. Can you feel it?
Tá, falta mais 3 agora. Na verdade, nossa, assim, né? Tem 3. Tem mais 4 caveira. Mas esse desenho é muito Animal Crossing. Já tô vendo ali do outro lado. Pronto. Nossa, cortei caminho. Filha da Aggie, Ibni.
I was always fearless. My mother Aggie told me there was nothing I couldn't do. With Otsul and without, I hunted the deer in the woods and the hares on the mountain, all before I had taken my first lover. And younger still, one time Aggie had me knock her tooth out when she was in terrible pain. I didn't mind even when the blood poured out. It was easy for me.
Caraca.
Spears and knives were my
Arrancou um dente
nature.
da mãe.
Death and courage were my meat and drink. I knew about Aggie's mirror, of course, but did not believe all of it. When Aggie warned us the Mauler was sick and there would be fewer calves for the following years, none of us listened. It was to be my first cull. I wanted their blood. It was my nature. We would not take less of the Mauler just because an old woman told us to. She came to the beach after the Mauler slaughter, her hair wild, eyes burning with fury, raged and shouted like a woman out of her mind. We had killed too many, she said. Then she left the village, told us she was done with all of us, forever. As Otsul marked me with oil and blood, I did not mourn my mother leaving. I was young and foolish, and the sight of her ashamed me. But of course, I did not see what was to come.
Tá, quem tem que encontrar.
To think
Meu Deus,
that
que é
they
isso?
were still having the same arguments about the Morrow way back in the Bronze Age.
Aggie must have sensed the trouble ahead. Maybe she was trying to find a way to prevent it.
Tá, é um. Tipo um negócio pra colocar tinta, né? Aparentemente. Uma vasilhinha. E lá vamos nós então, né? Jorão mostrando a base das Morlas. Nossa, que horror! Aqui, ó, achei. Ei, ei. Lâmpada de óleo a óleo da morla esculpida em osso. Bruxa do Pica-Pau. E lá vamos nós.
What a beautiful object. Delighted to have it in our museum.
Pronto, faltam mais 3 na teoria. E aparentemente os Grankin tem um em cada vitrine, né? Aparentemente. Agora cadê? Aqui. É outro peixe humano e amigo da Aggie. É o mesmo. É o Crick, sei lá como se pronuncia.
She was alone, and I would bring her food sometimes, samphire and sea urchins. She would make dry food and we would eat it together. Textures unlike any we knew that broke apart in your hands and in your mouth. We would sing together, make tea together. We became her family. The dry folk left her alone. She had a companion for a few seasons, a hind who came down from the mountain and slept at her fire. And then, for a few more, a golden hare that ate from her hand. One night we all felt it. Those of us in the water and those above. The island waking, rumbling, alive again, more furious than before. I found Aggie awake, tending her fire, unsleeping, unresting, staring into her mirror. She told me she'd seen the island sinking into orange fire and boiling sea, lost forever above and below. The village and our town in the sea caves, all gone. Aggie went to the shore and blew the sinistral shell, calling our people up from the water. Aggie sang for them, the oldest song, and we spoke for some time. That night, the sea and sky was all the same color, a deep grey blue like a mackerel's back without the glitter.
Então a gente vai ter que encontrar essa concha aí.
Aggie left the beach to return to her people, to tell them what must be done.
Tá, ela saiu e agora resolveu voltar pra
I'm
ajudar.
not sure I want to see what happens next.
We have to, Morris.
Esse cabrinho aqui. Bé. Tá, vamos voltar pro museu e encontrar então essa concha. Nossa, que poesia. Tá, concha. Tá, não, daqui é um troféu. Acho que tá do outro lado, hein? Fui pro lado errado de novo. Ou não. Ou sim. Calma aí. Não, tá aqui. Foi rápido. Esse foi fácil. Olha o tamanho da concha, meu Deus. Bom, por enquanto, o mais difícil dessa fase foi o espelho lá.
But it changed the entire course of our island.
Pronto, vamos pro último. Eu ia falar, mano, isso daí não é uma caveira humana, não. E de fato não era. Tá, cadê? Aqui. Nossa, a galera tudo reunido. Otsu, ancião da aldeia.
We heard the shell and knew Aggie had returned. Ibni was the leader then. It had taken many seasons, more than we would have liked, but there were finally enough Morlo again and our village was growing. We were strong. Some of the younger ones didn't know Aggie and didn't want to hear her. Called her a moon-shot crone, But Ibni looked in her mother's face and saw the truth of it. The end would come. The earth was growling again. There would be hot rivers of death and clouds of poison. But Aggie brought us the answer. She would give herself to the island. Ibni's voice shook. Surely a deer or a goat would be enough. The year's finest, blackest calf. Aggie cast down her eyes and shook her head. We all knew. I offered my blade, but Aggie turned me away. She took her knife that had cut her own cord the night the volcano last erupted and wrapped Ibni's fingers tight around the bone hilt. It must be you, Ibni, she said, and it must be now before the sun comes up. This day, this morning, or we are all gone. The village, the people, the island. Aggie embraced her daughter. Ibni whispered something, but I could not catch the words. Both women's faces shone with tears. Aggie sat on the ceremonial stone, the tears streaming now from all of us. Aggie delivered her final message. She told us her body must not be burned or given to the sea, but lain in the earth of the island beneath the mountain. Ibni was shaking, and then I realized it was not just Ibni. The whole island was trembling under our feet, waking up. Aggie told Ibni to be quick, the end was coming. As Aggie took Ibni's hand and guided the knife to her side, we saw the fish folk rising from the sea, hundreds of them, so many. I had no idea there were so many. Aggie was quiet the whole time, but Ibni cried out. A sound of longing and hurting from her heart like I had never heard. Then she fell silent, and as Aggie's life poured from her body, the island and everything on it fell suddenly still. Utterly still. We wept then, in sorrow and relief. Then the fish folk were among us, countless, numberless. One embraced Ibni, holding her up as it seemed her own legs might give way. When the sun came up that day, land and sea folk stood together for the first time, talking and singing the old songs, Aggie's songs, together.
Oh, tá longo, hein?
Ibni and the fish folk took Aggie up onto the mountain. They laid her in the peat alongside the knife and all the things she would need on her journey. Ibni watched over Aggie for days afterwards. Before she was covered, she placed a sacred carved stone, Aggie's beloved hair, inside her mother's mouth, to guide her and help her keep the mountain still forever. And so it was.
Tá por isso que encontrou todos esses itens, né? Eles enterraram junto com ela.
Now that's bravery.
Tá, vamos voltar então. Museu e encontrar mais esse coelho aí. É ela o cadáver. Ah, faz sentido, né? Ó. Realmente. É o jogo do filminho. Basicamente, esse jogo aqui ele é bem mais focado... Mentira, ele é mais focado em puzzle do que em filme, em cutscenes e tudo mais. Tá, onde que tá esse coelho? Eu lembro de ter visto ele em algum lugar. Será que eu já passei já? Não, aqui foi a faca. Aqui tem umas coisas diferentes. Não. Não, não. Tá, talvez eu não tenha visto esse coelho não. Não vai estar aqui, né? Porque já encontrou um negócio desse lado. Tá, dentro aqui tinha um negócio de navio. Era aqui dentro? Não. Ah, é a Spark e o Morris aqui, ó. Caraca, mano, como é que eu reconheci? Fósforo... Nossa, tem um só. Tá, eu acho que o coelho vai estar dentro do corpo, né? Acho que faz todo sentido. Dentro da boca dela. Exatamente. Meu Deus, e eu ali procurando, meia hora à toa.
Hey, Sparky, it feels a bit disrespectful looking inside Aggie's body like that.
You were the one who dug her up and put her on a plinth, Morris.
Yeah, but I
Já perdeu.
Relax, Morris. This body isn't Aggie anymore. She's long past needing this old thing.
Well, all right then.
Pois é, na história contou e olha lá. Lá vai que os caras tiraram, né? Nunca se sabe. Tá, acabou então?
Okay, Morris. I'll level with you. We absolutely didn't need to find Aggie's mementos in order for me to sniff her out. She's here, waiting for you. She has been this whole time.
But then, why did we need to visit the Bronze Age?
Aggie thought it was important for you to see those memories, so you would understand her path before you met her. But also, wasn't it cool?
That it was. The things I've seen now. Oh, Sparky, thank you so much. To think, for a while there, I was worried that being dead was gonna be boring.
You are very welcome, Morris. Okay, so, shall we go say hello to Aggie?
Yes!
Pronto, vamos visitar a Aggie então. Ó, nem precisou juntar os espíritos, já tá aqui.
Morris, Sparky, it's so good to see you both.
Hey, Aggie.
Wait, you know me?
Of course I do. Morris Lupton, one of the best-loved men in the history of Shelmerston, with the very finest dog.
Me? Oh, I don't know.
Come now, let's go out of this place, into the air.
Que droga fez procurar por nada, mas valeu a pena.
The
Ele é legal, é?
part
Então.
of Shelmerston that looks just the same
Parece
as the first
simpática.
day I saw it. I suppose it always will.
I love this beach. It's always been my favorite beach. I'm gonna go run.
Tá, daí aquela praia no começo do jogo, né?
Look at Sparky. She's shining.
That's the hope and the joy shining out of her.
That's it, isn't it? The point of all of this.
It is hope, home. This island, it chose the two of you just as it chose me.
And where will you be heading now? Heaven or something?
Heaven, what's that?
Well, I don't quite know how to explain it. But to me, it would be an awful lot like this beach.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm hoping to see Ibni, my daughter. It's been a very long time, but I remember her. We never forget the ones we love, do we, Morris?
No, I don't suppose we do.
I think she wants something, Morris.
Huh. Would you look at that? I just found a tennis ball in my pocket. Here you are, girl.
Pois é, nunca esquecemos. Em memória de Morris Lampton, 59 de 2019, curador do Museu Shelmerston. Mentira, acaba assim? No way! Acabou desse jeito, mano. E quem que virou o guardião? Acho que não precisou do guardião, né? Como ela tava falando que o... Como a Spark mesmo tava falando, né? Que ela é a própria ilha, né? Aparentemente. Então, tipo, a gente conseguiu fazer ela feliz, aparentemente. E aí impediu do próprio... Do vulcão entrar em erupção, né? Alguma coisa do tipo. Bem curioso, bem curioso. Chorei um pouco. Então, é que dá pra chorar, dependendo da pessoa. Dá pra lembrar de algumas coisas e ficar meio pensativo. Então é aquele esquema, né? Tipo, nunca deixe de brincar com o cachorro e tudo mais, né? Com o animal de estimação. Mantenha ele sempre o mais feliz possível. Mas achei interessante, achei bem interessante o jogo. Principalmente essa parte de você ter que procurar as coisas, né? Tipo, bem no estilo onde está o Wally, né? Aquele lá é legal. Você tem que procurar no meio de uma multidão de gente onde está o cara. Aqui você tem que encontrar os objetos no meio de uma multidão de objetos quase. Bem curioso, bem curioso. Mas eu diria que ainda não supera aquele Sayonara Wild Hearts, né? Que Sayonara Wild Hearts foi um jogo tão incrível que, meu Deus. Eu voltei, né, agora. Depois que eu joguei, eu voltei a ouvir as músicas daquele jogo lá em looping praticamente. Tô o tempo todo ouvindo as músicas daquele jogo. Tá, me pergunto se tem alguma coisa depois desses créditos. Tá, será que eu consigo... consigo acelerar. Annapurna. Os jogos da Annapurna são incríveis. Eu tava vendo que tem alguns jogos que vai lançar ainda da Annapurna que são bem interessantes. Tem um lá que, principalmente, muito interessante por ser... Você tá preso num loop temporal. Tipo, você e uma mulher, no caso, tipo um casal, preso num loop temporal e você tem que mudar as coisas porque sempre vai acontecer alguma coisa que vai dar ruim. Se chama 12 Horas, se eu não me engano o nome do jogo. É bem... Depois dá uma olhada no trailer. Bom, então é isso, né? Terminamos aqui mais um jogo no canal e foi interessante, né? Como eu já disse aí nos créditos. Mas é isso, né? Então vou aproveitar pra gente já encerrando o vídeo por aqui. Então se você curtiu o vídeo, né? Já deixa um gostei aí embaixo, né? Já clica aí no like. Já se inscreve no canal, já ativa o sininho. Já deixa um comentário aí embaixo, né? Dizendo o que você achou do jogo e tudo mais. E também não se esqueça de compartilhar nas redes sociais, né? Que ajuda imensamente aqui o canal, né? Compartilha no Facebook, no Instagram, no WhatsApp, onde quer que você use, né? E é isso. Então até a próxima. Fui!